Hello, Fern Kitsuin here with Eve Guru, here to demo the Station Trader. This is a much requested module, and it is finally here. So we're going to walk through it. When you first look at the tool, it might be a little overwhelming, but trust me, it's very intuitive, and it's giving you everything you need to know to make very good decisions. So what is the Station Trader? Station Trader is pretty straightforward. You got a character, he sits inside of a station, doesn't move, and buys and sells things off of the buy and sell orders. And so the challenge for a station trader is knowing where should I put my ISK, because station traders can put a lot of ISK in something that never sells to a buy order, right? And the way to make money in station trading is casting a very wide net that's not too deep to capture as many opportunities as you can. And so for this example, we're just going to do examples for this tutorial. We are sitting in JITA, but you can get all the core stations here. You can even add in nullsec stations if you want to trade in nullsec stations, which we'll show here in a little while. You can add any NPC station you want. So if you're sitting in a station somewhere, you can trade in it. So if you go through our profit filter assumptions, I'm saying, all right, I want the ISK profit to be at least 15 million per line. Why? Because going down here to the bottom, I do not want to be selling things where I only get 300 market orders, and so I want to make sure if I'm clicking on things, it's worth clicking on. So I put that minimum there. I want the order margin to be at least 20%. I'm including ranged buy orders, which we'll talk about in a minute, and I want to buy 1 day of demand. So maybe I'm wanting to be like in and out of the market and be really flexible. So I'm going to cast a really wide net, and I'm not going very deep. I'm just going to grab a day, but I can make that 3 days, 10 days, 14 days. You can do whatever you want. So let's run through a few examples here. So right now, like this 200 millimeter steel plate, the tool is recommending that you buy 8. So I'm going to say, sure, I want to do that. Why not? And so you can click on this, and this is here currently. As you add check marks in the future, all of your costing and things will come up here, but we don't have that built in yet. It didn't quite make it in time for release. But for now, this is what you can use to kind of keep track of the things you want to buy. But we're going to aggregate all the profits and capital required and things down here, so that way you have an idea of how much ISK you're going to spend. So for now, we'll just use the check boxes to kind of keep track of things. So if I wanted to buy this Republic Fleet Tracking Enhancer, is saying we're going to buy 6 because the buy units per day is 6. Also in the future, we'll give you the option to pick demand per day based off of sell or buy units. So if you want to buy 1 day of sell units, then this didn't say 20, for example. But unfortunately, Eve does not let you do multi-buy for buy orders. It doesn't exist. So instead, what we try to do to make your life easier is we have this open button. So if you click the open button inside of the game, oh, I just realized I am using the Metroplex character, wrong character. So let me make sure I align my character with my character here in the game, which is Fern. Let's try that again. I'm going to open this item in the game. And so now there the item is. And so we do this so that way you can just click, 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 click and open things, because you're going to have to place your buy orders manually. If you don't like it, take it up with CCP. There's nothing we can do about it. But we have done some things to make your life a little easier. So we know that this says it's 83.03, right? And that matches to the tool. So we clicked open in game. When you click open in the game, it also copies the best price. So if you open up your buy order and you hit Control V, look at that, it's 83.04. We automatically give you the bid price, and then quantity you have to set manually anyways. And so you could do something like this where you're splitting your screen. This says 6. Well, I don't want to do 6. I want to do 20. Type in 20, and then hit and then of course set your range to station, probably duration. Make sure that's 3 months. Please make sure that's 3 months, and then hit buy. And then it'll place the buy order. So this example, I'm just going to place 1 because I'm not station trading this stuff. I'm going to go ahead and hit buy, and then we're going to see it pop up right here. And now we have a buy order placed, and it's very, very likely that someone's gonna sell me this because it sells 6 per day on the buy side, and there's not that many on buy orders. Well, actually there is. There's actually quite a few more than I realized, but it's still fine. I'm at the top. Very cool. Who knows? Maybe it'll sell within this demo. That'd be kind of cool. So you're going to do that item by item. So you would go here to the sentient signal. You'd hit open. It opens it up in the game. Here it is. Go to your buy order. Control V. There's the price. Now, because I'm over an hour old, the price is a little bit delayed because it clearly needs to be 34,190,000. So depending on how recent you do your ESI sync, it'll get you very close most of the time, if not dead on. Set that to 3 months. You can click remember your settings, so that way it remembers your settings, and then you just can go line by line by line, placing all these buy orders. And you can see this item sells 1 per day, both on the buy and the sell side. So there's a pretty good chance you're going to make a cool 369 million on this if you happen to be the person who wins on the buy order right here. Because that is the name of the game of station trading. It's trying to win on the buy orders, so that way you have inventory that you can then put on the sell order. So let's go through the metrics real quick. So we have, so let's talk about what the heck I'm talking about. Buy units per day and sell units per day. So in EVE Online, like we talked about earlier, the biggest pain point for a trader is, if we look at price history, EVE Online gives you these bars. These bars do not tell you. It says, yeah, the 11 sold on this day. That is not helpful, because where did it sell to? Did it sell from the sell order, or did it sell to the buy order? And you notice in the metrics here, we're saying it sells completely equally, just about equally, which is fairly rare. And if we look at the dots are in the middle of the Deutschian channel, meaning that it sells to sell orders and sells to buy orders pretty much equally. So this is an item that's really good to buy and sell off of. So we're splitting the demand using Atom for Eve. Atom for Eve takes 15-minute snapshots. We take their data, we clean it, we do some of our own stuff, and here it is. We split out the demand on both the buy and the sell side. Then we tell you how many supply units there are. We say, well, there's 4 in the station, and there indeed is 4, and that works its way to 3. So if you take 4 units divided by 1.3 units per day, that's about 3 days of demand. So the higher the days of demand, like 6 days, typically means there's a lot of competition. And if it's really small, like 0.7, that means there's not a whole lot of competition because the demand is, there's no supply left. This also highlights how many parts are traded in the region. And so on this particular part, about half of them are sold inside of JITA 4.4, typically over the time period of the last 14 days, but then sometimes they can be sold elsewhere. Most of the time though, especially with JITA, almost all things are sold in JITA. Then we have assets, active buy orders, and active sell orders. So if you have things on buy orders, or you have things listed on the sell order, we take it off of the purchased units right now. Because, why purchase things you've already got listed? In the future, the very near future, we're going to have checkboxes. So if you want to ignore what you have on active sell orders, which I could see being a strategy, maybe you don't care what you have on active sell order, you always want to be buying a day of demand all the time, you can uncheck active sell orders, and then it'll only account for your assets and active buy orders and reducing your purchased units. So if you have 8 of these already in your inventory because they purchased for the day before and you don't list them, the next time you run this will not show up, because why buy the same thing twice when you haven't sold it yet? Because we're trying to protect your ISK. We want your ISK working. We don't want ISK sitting on a buy order just collecting dust. Last thing we're going to talk about is, so you'll notice there's no hauling here. That makes sense. It's a station trader. There's no hauling in station trading. Risk profile. So sometimes pricing is volatile. So currently, you could take an average price period, which I set it to 14 days, and say, in this case, if anything, is less than 0% over 14 days, don't return it. So here's a good example of this shield booster. So currently it's selling for 814 on the buy order. The 14-day average price is 874. So right now these prices are a little inflated. We can go to the price history, and indeed the prices are inflated, but they are selling, because you can see at the Deutschen channel it's up there. So what this is saying is that this is inflated. So you're going to make anywhere from 45% to 1%. So if you buy this for 814, you could end up selling it for 874, in which case you're going to break even because of taxes. You know what? That's what I call that a win-win. I'm absolutely doing that. I got a chance at 45, and at worst case, I'm going to break even. That is a bet I'm willing to take. I can't lose. But if you want to, I personally like -10, because I like to gamble a little bit. So like on this Gravid large cap battery, I could buy 16 of them, because that's how many sell to the sell order in one day, because again I set it to 1 day. And I'm going to make anywhere from 44% to losing 3%. So I find this is the sweet spot. If I lose money, I don't lose too much, but I'm also pulling in items. Like look at these profits, man. They're gigantic, a $500 million ISK if you can get the buy, if you're the winner on the buy order. So if you're really crazy, you can set this to -100. And now you don't even care about the last 14-day average price. So on an item like, let's pick something juicy. You know, there's actually not that many. Here's one. So these Domination Medium Proton Smart Bombs that the tool is recommending you buy 3 of. So here it sells for 40. So let's say you buy it, you're gonna make anywhere, you're gonna list it for 89, hopefully, and make 111%. But there's a chance the pricing is gonna plummet, and then you're back to making 37, in which case you're gonna lose 13%. So let's take a look at that inside the game. We're gonna open that up. Here it is. So you can see pricing is taking off. Market data is still at 89. I mean, this is something that I would probably do, because it's selling about 3 per day on the buy order. So people are selling about 3 of these to the buy order every day, and it's also selling about 4 per day inside of the sell order side. So what this is saying is that in 2 days, these will be empty if no one lists anything. And again, this works for all stations. As for your assets, like we talked about earlier, you can set asset scopes. So you can use a current character, corporation. You can set different stations or systems. So to restrict where it's pulling the assets from. Same for active orders. If you only want to consider, your current character, corporation, or character groups, you can do that too for your orders. What you would do is come down here to accounting groups. You would create a new group. You'd name it. You would then drag and drop all your people into here. Click the show in industry. We'll have it as quote-unquote show and trade, but for now this box is working for everything. And then these are your character group that you can then assign to your market orders. So I could go back here to the tool. I could say, all right, for active market orders, I want to use just demo 1, because demo 1 is these characters right here. So that's some ways you can restrict. Also in market settings, you can add in player-owned markets by clicking this button. So if you have permissions, you would choose your character, your system, and then your marketplace. So Constantinople is one, Tranquility Trading Tower is another. You can also add in NPC markets. So you can type, any NPC market you want, search for it, add it, and then now you can trade in that station. I don't know why you want to trade in Perimeter Caldari Construction's production plant, but you can. And so after the tool verifies it, you can add it, and that'll be part of your drop down. So when we go back to the tool, and you go to drop down, it'll be now included. So you can station trade in nullsec if you want to. Why not? And I think, I almost forgot. So talking about other juicy things, so we broke out the buy and sell demand signals. Awesome. But this is actually pretty good. We also give you something else that's not in the game, and that is this right here. So if you go to the buy side, here's all the buy orders, right? And they're usually ones. And so when it fills, it disappears. That's boring. On the sell side though, this person we can see already sold one. He had two, and now he's got one. And he posted this not even a day ago. This is only 12 hours old. So this sells about 20 units per day, and there's none left. There's just none. There's 0.1 left. There's only 3 left, and it sells 20 per day, and only 1.6 sell to the buy order. So that would mean this is where the regional trader kicks in. So our regional day trader would be looking for these and then hauling them to JITA to make juicy, juicy ISKIs. So let's pick something a little bit more liquid, like these rapid light assault missile launchers. So down here, we can see that this person sold 8 at this price before he got undercut. This person has sold 11 since he's posted this. This guy sold half of his. So now you get all this context. On the buy market side, this line so far, people have sold 4 items to this person, and then the line after that, 100 items were sold to that person on the buy order side. So you can see that these prices are working. So, you know, it sells about 300 per day to the buy order, 1600 to the sell side. And so tomorrow you come in here, and this is probably gone. And this is going to be way reduced because people are going to keep selling to those buy orders. So now you get all this market context as a station trader that you've never had before. And this should make you extremely dangerous because now you can cast that really wide net. You can only post what you want, because if you look at this, it's one of this, 115 of that, 10 of these, 20 of those, 65 of these. That's not a whole lot of ISK. And so when it comes to capital required, I mean, this one's 4.8 billion for this Mercurial black body drift skin, but you know, people are selling these in perimeter to the buy order, and they're also buying them from JITA. So it's a real freaking signal. You're gonna spend 4.8 billion to make 1.7 billion, but that's not a bad ROI. The ROI on that is 37%, and the period profit over the last 14 days is 5. So you're definitely in the green on that. What else can I show that's worth showing? I guess that's it. Yep, that is it. So this is the Station Trader. It is free for 30 days. It's part of your free trial. Make some money with it. After that, it's 200 million ISK for the module, which you guys should be making really within your first couple of hours. So enjoy the tool, and feel free to join our Discord, and we'll answer any questions and continue to add more and more things as we go to this module. And thank you guys for listening.